Welcome back to Horse Rush TV. Today we are talking about a breed that came out on the first fleet and has been around since then, but didn't get recognised until 1986. The horses were exported to the Boer War, the Indian Mutiny, as well as 160,000 horses exported for World War I. Today I am here with Peter Fisher, who breeds the Whaler. Peter, welcome to our show.
Hi Natasha, thank you.
Peter, the Whaler almost became extinct in 1960. Could you tell our viewers why that was?
Well, for a couple of reasons. It almost became extinct because the remnants of the breed, well, in actual fact it was never really a breed until it was established as such by our society, but the remnants of the old horses that had been known as Whalers were only to be found, generally speaking, amongst Brumby herds. Most of those Brumby herds were subject to the government's feral horse eradication program and thus being destroyed. The term Whaler had gone out of use because it had never been recognised as a breed in its own right. And yeah, so that's what happened.
Okay, Peter, well, you're all wired up. Could you tell our viewers about these two Whaler breeds?
Is my daughter's horse. She's what we would term a light Whaler. She shows a bit more thoroughbred influence than the other three types. She came from a cattle station that bred this style of Whalers as stock horses or station horses right through up until probably 10 years ago, and the station has now been cleared out of horses, so the only ones remaining are the ones within the Whaler Society. You'll see with her that she's, whilst she's lighter in weight than, for argument's sake, the heavy one, a lot of the physical characteristics are common amongst all types. You'll notice a relatively short back, a sloping croup, and lower set dock than, for argument's sake, an Arab, deep in the girth, deep in the gut, short cannons. And that's common amongst all of them, including the heavier horse.
Peter, since you're all wired up, could you show our viewers the characteristics of the heavy Whaler?
Okay. This particular girl here shows the influence of the breeds that were present on the station from which we obtained her. That particular station bred light artillery Whalers for export to India right up until the 1930s. They had on that station Clydesdale, Suffolk Punch, Welsh Cob and Thoroughbred horses, and she shows influence of a number of those breeds. You'll notice in her that she has a really thick neck, which she gets off from the heavy horse, and she still has a decent length of rein, a relatively short back, sloping croup and low set dock, showing the influence of those breeds or combinations of those breeds I've just mentioned. She's got a nice wide chest, which is from her heavier horse influence, short cannons. Those characteristics are present in Whalers of all types, but in a different degree depending on whether they're light or medium or heavy. She's got a nice deep girth and a nice deep gut area here, which horses develop and breed on when they're living in the conditions under which she has been bred for a number of generations. She's a very powerful horse. She's been used for giving children riding lessons for a number of years. She was captured as a young Brumby because that's all the present owners of the station regarded them as, whilst we traced the history and found that there was no influence of modern breeds in those horses since they were bred as whalers.
Peter, is this a typical temperament for a whaler?
Yes, it is typical of the horse. The one characteristic that stands out amongst these horses, which is one of the main reasons I admire them so much, that they're very clever, provided they learn that they can trust people. Their temperament is outstanding. Because they're a clever horse, they've had to be to survive. If the first thing they learn from people is to be scared of them, or that not to trust people, of course that will stay with them forever. But if they learn initially that people can be trusted and relied upon, they're yours forever. Their temperament is just so good.
Peter, could you tell our viewers why you chose to breed the whaler?
Well, for a number of reasons. One reason is that I have a soft spot for our Australian traditions. I really believe in our Australian traditions, and these are part of our heritage, these horses. The other reason is that I really admire the temperament of these horses. To have a one-person horse, or a horse that can be your friend as well as your means of transport or whatever you're using it for, these horses can be your friend. If you give them a fair go and you treat them right, they're yours forever. They won't take advantage of you. If they learn to trust you and rely on you and have confidence in you, you won't find a better mate.
Peter, when I opened up the segment, I said there was also a tragic side of the whaler. In 1960, they were either destroyed or released into the wild. Could you explain to our viewers why that was?
It was mainly due to the government's feral horse eradication program. They professed that the Brumbies, amongst which were these horses, because they'd been released or whatever, or escaped, were a menace to the TB and brucellosis eradication program. They were supposedly knocking down the fences and letting the clean cattle in with the dirty cattle, or vice versa, and making it difficult for them to eradicate TB and brucellosis. So their answer was to that was to destroy them. And yes, they wanted to eradicate all the feral horses, including these.
Peter, could you tell our viewers what the whalers are used for today?
Yes, well, we've been using them for the last 10 years as trail riding horses for lessons, children's lessons. Some are doing endurance and doing quite well at endurance. There's a couple doing dressage, there's a couple doing eventing. There's a lot being used just for pleasure horses. I've no doubt that within the next few years you'll see some of them featuring and becoming well known in those particular circles. We're still in our relative infancy in resurrecting the breed, but there's no doubt we'll get there, and we'll get there well.
The whaler's been around since the first fleet, but it didn't get classified till 1986, which was just realistically a few years ago. Could you explain to our viewers why that was?
Well, up until then, the term whaler was applied to the horse from the colony of New South Wales, as we said, but it was never registered or recognised as a breed as such. It was never formalised as a breed until the Whaler Horse Society set certain criteria after a lot of investigation and research.
And you're a part of the Whaler Society as well, aren't you? You're one of the
Yes.
founders.
Yes, yeah. So once we'd established the criteria by which we could apply to register the horse as a breed and recognise it as a breed in its own right and keep the documents relating to that, it was only then that it became more widely recognised as a breed, as I said, in its own right, which it is now. We have a stud book, we have a register, and very strict criteria as far as regulations which relate to what horses we can accept and give the name Whaler to.
Peter, thank you so much for joining us with this segment.
Hi guys, now welcome back. We're still here at the Barstock Horse Show of the Year and we have a judge here, Mr. Brenton Cook, and I'm going to hand it over to him now and he's going to tell you guys what he was looking for in the judging of this card here.
We've gone over the whole horse-drawn vehicle. It's a buggy class. For a buggy class you judge the vehicle as well as the suitability of the horse. You look at the harness, the balance of the harness, how well it fits. You go through condition of harness, how well the competitors cleaned the vehicle harness, the actual combination, how well it goes together, the actual driver, the passenger, the way the buggy's built, whether it's suitable for the actual horse that's involved. Lights have straps because years ago the lamps used to fall out. In their boots, you'll look for certain things. They must have a wheel spanner, and then in a toolkit you have the other things like a horse hammer, spare nails, things like that would have gone wrong on the road years ago. And then you check your upholstery, how the hood's been made, whether it all fits in with the actual period of the vehicle. You look at your passengers, you look at the costume they've got, the suitability of the outfit for the event, and then more spares they had was the spare halter in case they stopped on the side of the road years ago and tied the horse to the tree. So that's basically what we look for: cleanliness, clean sound, and suitability for the whole thing to balance along.
Well, thank you for that. Now, it's a lot of work goes into these things, doesn't it?
Go into these things. A competitor for a royal show would probably spend nearly all day to clean that vehicle, a good day's work to clean a set of harness, plus prepare the horse.
Yeah, a lot more than just a competitor and a horse.
Much more than a competitor and a horse. You know, people say, why do you do it? The prize money's not everything. You do it for the enjoyment of getting out there and achieving it.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Hi guys, welcome back to Horse Rush TV. Now, to start off this week's episode, we've got Manola, but this time it's Charlie, not Dario, isn't that right?
Charlie. Charlie is a 9 years old horse. I just taught him to riding and working and hang a little bit. And he has few little problems. His back is a little hollow and he's not moving the right way. And then I always keep a little work before that riding and hang because you investigate his leg not moving correct way, and you can help from, that's why I call groundwork, to correct him and to giving him more bang and make sure the neck is a little low, that way we could bring the spine up. Then I do some exercise, touch the leg, that way he crossing but coming forward. That's why he flexion in this, through the spine and through the hind quarter a little bit. And that's what I'm going to do with him.
Now that's important now for later.
It's important because I do it a lot of groundwork at the moment when I like that when you start to get deeper in Pre-St. John and you want to work in teaching Piaf.
Yeah.
Is all there, you know, you just have to.
So we'll go to some groundwork with Manola and Charlie.
Okay. First, I have this whip here. It's made by bamboo, and it's very light, easy to handle. It's not heavy. It's better than a whip. This is good length because I'm going from here to the thigh of the horse, to the back leg. And in that case, this is very long arm. If I want to push the horse out a little bit and two-track work, a little shoulder in, or going straight, I remove the whip there, and if I want to go to the other side, I put it on this side. And when the horse understands more, see the whip is on the right side, I'm on the left, but the bend through the body is very good. I put it onto this side, he will bend now to the left. And what I try to do with him is bending the vertebra from left to right. Good boy. And all the time I do something like that, I try to stop in very straight line. The neck bring down because I want him the vertebra to get nice release through the jaw. Because the vertebra, you have to remember, the vertebra coming very close, low through the neck, coming inside the body to there. Now, this horse been riding a little bit too high and short. And because been riding, I'm going to put it on this way a little bit. Oh, good boy. Been riding with this position, he's giving to him the back a little hollow. Now we have to bring the neck down to be able to keep the neck low, that's why the back is coming up. Because what happened with the back hollow, the hip is low and the thigh is high. He will throw the thigh with a lot of action through the hog, but not through the stifle. And what we want him to use the belly and the stifle more than the hog. That's why he's not broken down, because not a lot of flexibility through the hog. It's more through the the stifle. The stifle is because the hip is here. He's going very low there and coming back the bone. See how big flexion he have here. A light that just coming from here, another angle, but that is very, horses are very straight. And that is the angle horse is using more than anything for jumping. What I try to do to him, teaching him to move in this leg underneath. Good. I keep a little throw with the neck a little down, no side rein. I open the circle, after do a couple, I open the circle because I want him to get good rhythm a little forward and bending a little bit. That's better now. And when I see the muscle all smooth and the body in nice posture, see the neck is like this, a little high. Okay, like that, a little high now. He's quite stiff now, a little stiff. See the neck a little high? This leg here get too much underneath the body, and then the hog he will get closer. Now, I will bring him a little lower the neck, that's better. See the bend, more spring in the throat, and the muscle and the body more loose. It's so different. The high and the lower is so different, the position, it makes so big difference to the body. Then after a couple little circles like that, I bring him to walk. Then I keep a nice walk, moving his neck, a nice tracking, nice and long. Then when I see him, the walk is confirmed and it's nice, I slow down a little bit. Oh. Any horse the horse want to get to the trophy or anything, you stop. Because nothing worse than a horse going to the toilet and you're not allowed to do his job, and he can produce a colic. First, a colic. Second, the horse he will not working properly, uncomfortable, and he will not thinking, and he will have very little respect for the rider. Okay, slow down. Oh. Good. And from that walk, we're going to trot. You're never going to trot from too quick walk, because then the horse start to rush. Then he start to rush. See, that's why I need a width. I see this a little leg, a little lazy. I touch a little bit, just touching. When to going the leg forward, not going to coming back. You have to be, the time I have to be just perfect. To be able to react the horse, and the horse do something different. Oh. That was a little too high, you see? I just touching a little bit with the corner of the wheel was too high. When the leg coming forward, and that is a little accident, and you can see how it reacts. Let me see, we know are careful how many accidents and how many will walk. That's nice walk. Now a little forward. Oh. We walk slowly again, then we trot. And now I will move in front of him, I stop, and I will mark his leg a little bit underneath the body, one for one, gently. Oh, good boy. That's it. And I will stretch his neck forward a little bit, and we keep apart while the neck head longer. The longer the neck head, shorter the body he will get. Much better piaffe he will do lighter. Then we bring his leg again underneath. Then we bring his back, his neck a little low this time. That's it. And all the time when you stop and bring his leg underneath, a horse with the too hollow back, you will not keep for too long. Only a couple seconds and walk again, he will get too tight. And now I'm going to trot a little bit, and I'm going to touch in his leg, see what type of reaction we have. Okay. Whoa. Okay, then I have to pat him, I have to tell him he's very good. The hind quarter going in, the hind quarter going out. But he's still keeping his trot. Then that, to me, that was very good. That's the key. Not be too greedy. Then he will start to get panic, he will get scared. You start to get too much. Sometimes it could be very nice, sometimes it could be mediocre. Again. Good boy, a little bit. Whoa. And keep a pat. Oh, good boy. Oh, and now I'm walk. Good boy, that was very nice. We're not teaching the horses piaffe with the whip and a strong contact and the bit. We are careful how we do it. This is it should be a lot of fun for the horse. You want me to tie the tire?